Unmute
This
would
call
help.
is being recorded.
Thank you for calling in.
Wonderful. Good to be here. Thank you.
Oh, no, awesome. And please feel free to interrupt at any point if you have any questions.
Absolutely.
Now, I see you got the progress chart reading, which is awesome.
It is.
And right, and I'm definitely grateful to facilitate this with you. So, right off the bat, we see that you were born as a sun in Cancer, high priestess of destiny, may I add, because you had the North Node next to your sun or near it,
Mm.
and you were born with a Leo moon. So, as a Pisces rising, which is the ascended master, which would make your title, you were born with the vibration of golden sincerity, which is gangster. That's awesome. Actually, your chart is fascinating too because you were born after the quadruple conjunction. So you have Jupiter and Scorpio, right? But you have Saturn conjunct Pluto, Saturn in its dignity with Mars. That was kind of a bit of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So, you're one of the few people who understand the significance of what's happening now and the
Mm.
lack of integrity, with all this. In
Yes.
fact, you're for the first time breaking through everything you've been born. This is so monumental. I don't want to make this too much
100%.
of a transit forecast. Right. Thank you for confirming that too. This is very
Absolutely.
iconic.
Yeah.
Pluto right
100.
now is 20. Right, and Pluto is 24 degrees Capricorn. It's square your Pluto. So, like, congratulations. Like, Pluto will never come back at the state, and this represents a full-on breakthrough of the intimacy of dealing with others extremely versus the place of belonging and how much more you can trust the social collective with the wisdom that you use to deal with them, which is a fancy way of saying just kind of like breaking through the lack of integrity and balance in socially dealing with others, which especially as a Cancer sun may not be fun at all.
No, it's not. But what you said 100% resonates for sure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, and actually honored to have this conversation with you because this denotes a lot of work. Being karmically responsible. Saturn is an exaltation. With Mars, it's a lot of social karma and work to help other people. So it's
Hmm.
like really breaking through that burden and the responsibility and
Hmm.
being in a position to now like reap off of that in the 11th. So congratulations. Well, the one thing that fascinates me about your chart, it's one thing to see that you're an emissary of destiny, the captain of your destiny group, but Neptune rules your entire chart as a Pisces rising, and you were born with it exactly on your MC in Sag, which is profound. This is a
Mm.
legacy where you're meant to show the world the transcendent quality of psychic ability or really just the truth, but in ways that incorporate the astral realm through imagination. This could kind of set you out for people to feel like you're delusional when really you're an ascended master. Like you're beyond most people's comprehension. And that makes sense now, seeing that you came to assist humanity and really completely transcend the way people see into meaning and incorporate this metaphysical phenomena, which in the MC, mostly people like this aren't meant to even keep a job because, like, it's not that you can't keep a job, but like the universe has to move you from place to place, neighborhood to neighborhood. Because once you show the upper management the deception or like what needs to be seen, boom, on to the next.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes so much sense.
It's even more strange because the person who I just spoke to also had MC on Neptune, except he was born 97 or
Mhm.
96, and it was in Capricorn. So very fascinating. I want to leave you with that because it's an exact square. It would be something that's worth to really research and look into. The South
Okay.
Node has recently unlocked it. During Sagittarius season, the South Node will unlock Uranus, which represents the flash claircognizant visions that you're able to receive and communicate. Once again, people's ability to resonate with it is one thing because it's advanced. So most
Mm.
like you have to be a genius or smart to really get it, but thankfully, it still doesn't change the fact that you're paving the way like a pioneer. So this is beautiful because now we know you being born as a master, ascended master, 25 degrees. Now your rising is 29 degrees Aries. Your time in getting this is fascinating. because you're literally on the verge of becoming the natural queen. In
Mm.
another few months, you will progress into Taurus. In fact, let me give you the exact date because this is literally so time sensitive. Literally any moment.
It
If
feels
we
like it, to be honest.
thank you for mentioning that too, which is very relevant. Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
It definitely feels like I'm on the edge of something. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I can feel it. I can feel the progression, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So why this is even more amazing is we're here, September, and in less than 30 days, you will have progressed into Taurus
Wow.
as a rising, right? Which is a huge deal. Like this is a major culmination as a Pisces rising. You manifested the value of your identity by progressing
Mm,
into becoming an original. So the whole notion of being a Pisces rising is as a divine mirror, elements of your own personality as a collective entity or instrument are surrendered. Pisces kind of has no ego in this vein because now you're representing everything really. And the hard thing is, it could be hard to identify with this. So now you've manifested that ego in Aries, where it's like, okay, as an ascended master, boom, this is who I am as Sam, right? This is who I am as
mm,
the original and passionate sense of how you've now brought to greater form the passionate primordial value of your divine being, because Pisces
mm,
risings are divine beings, right? So this is the coolest part. Now that you've fleshed out the mastery of who you are, you're getting ready to establish the value of your attitude, and this
mm,
is you becoming the producer, the natural queen. This is going to ground everything that you're currently focusing on. And this is even cooler because when we look at lunar cycles, or when we look at progress charts, we have to look at the progressed lunar cycle. And we know that
mm,
you're progressed into 9 degrees Leo, and your moon is 8 degrees Capricorn. 8 months ago, you
mm,
finished the Sagittarius moon progression over Uranus, over Neptune. And so you're on the verge in another 22 months, you'll progress into Aquarius, and then you'll be having your full moon in Aquarius progress cycle. This will complete the Leo lesson and come back
mm,
around potentially for the new moon in Leo. Looks like you had the full moon before the new moon. And what this is
mm.
going to do is prepare for a new moon in Leo cycle. And just to kind of confirm this, um, ooh, it might be close because at 2 degrees, it looks like potentially you may actually have had the new moon either at the very end of Gemini or 0 degrees Cancer. I
Mm,
think it was probably at the end of Gemini. So if
mhm,
we go a little bit back in time, just to see perhaps where you had the new moon in Cancer, if we go back to 2000, we know that the moon was in Pisces. So if we go to 2009, we'll see that, aha, would you look at that? So you actually have the new moon at the very end of Cancer, beginning of 2009.
right.
So you were born right after the new moon in Gemini, at the end of Gemini. Then, of course, when you were born, you had the first quarter square in Libra, so that you can develop your sincerity of character based on how you feel the social environment is around you. You had the full moon in Capricorn, completed that. Then you had the third quarter square in Aries, boom. Then you had the new moon at the very end of Cancer, 2009. Then you progressed into Leo. Your moon went into Scorpio, and now it's in Capricorn. And you're
Mm,
getting ready to complete the Leo. So the new moon in Cancer extended forth the sincerity of character as a high priestess, starting that cycle by developing, of course, the significance of a Leo progression, becoming the performer or the queen,
mm,
solar queen. And this is where you're developing golden quality. If we think about Cancer representing the ocean of death and giving one substance. It's an individual sign. Now you're progressing into the social Leo. So if we think
Mm.
of the individualization of Cancer as now the soul of one's identity in Aries, value in Taurus, and ideas and thoughts in Gemini, this is the substance that brings all this together. And Leo is where we have the courage to take those four facets of our individuality and perform it to people
Mm. Yeah.
and become star of sorts, right? What's even cooler is that your sun went over your moon. Your progressed
Mm.
sun went over your progressed moon. So you're more aware of your natal soul and the golden quality of your soul, which I think is a bit of a personal new moon. It's a rare aspect that will never happen to some people. So I think it's really interesting. Even though your progressed moon is in Capricorn now, this is
Mm.
important because, of course, you're in a position where you are, and this is cool because Cancer and Leo is like Scorpio and Sag, which is like Pisces and Aries. In that, oh, and I didn't even realize those are all water signs. Fascinating. In that we're seeing, right, the shift of perspectives. Pisces goes back from collective pertaining to everything to the individual in Aries. And then Cancer is coming out the shell into being in Leo. That's why personally I'm not really social, but as a Gemini, I'm 20 degrees Cancer progressed, and I can't
Mm.
wait to get into Leo because I'm not sure to process my feelings, and I want to just be in Leo and express my thoughts and just talk all this smack. But um, Cancer, of course, is teaching me, maturity of emotions and
Mm.
psychic receptivity. So you're manifesting the value of your psychic power in this golden courage and strength. And so
Definitely. Yeah.
which is amazing, by the way, super awesome, by the way, and all power to you. In a sense, because every next sign is second house to the sun, you're developing the awesome quality of your value and how you feel about yourself. But also, if we think about, once again, the depth of emotions where you feel things that could be complex and irrational in certain senses, Leo is the courage to take that depth and at a heart level express it. And the thing is, because it's social, this is actually what brings Cancer out the shell and start to desire, of course, social interaction and to put yourself out there and to share your talents and unlock the inner child. What's interesting is you were born a social individual as a collective entity. So as a moon in Leo, you've always felt like you need certain attention socially to express your gifts, or to you just need this element of interaction to express as an individual, which is awesome. It's like being an individual that doesn't mind being social every now and then. And with Mars in Libra, you actually desire social interaction and networking. It's a part of your karma to
Mm.
transform based on the work of service and the deep intelligence that goes into really, based on your interactions with others, not only transforming but drawing boundaries properly. So
Mm.
that's amazing. Knowing that now that you've progressed into a solar queen as a Leo, the golden performer, the moon is in Capricorn. So the moon,
Mm.
relative to this new moon cycle, is now in a place where you're integrating, which is awesome, by the way, because in another month, your sun and moon will be the exact same degree. And at
Yeah.
the exact same degree point, this is definitely going to speak towards being in a position to real being in a position to realistically complete the integration of your own incredible integrity into this performance. So because Capricorn is sixth house to Leo, this represents the organizational power that is influencing the behavior you're developing now as a progressed Leo sun. It's
Mm.
a lifestyle of luxury and power that, because you finished the Sag moon, what the Sag moon did was to make you receptive to an ascended sense of your own creativity, where now as a Leo sun, you're expressing, of course, it may have been confusing with the Neptune square and really
Mhm.
feeling into right? Like who's trustworthy, but what vision can you really see despite the deception being projected and breaking through that? But thankfully, that gave you the perception needed to, now that you're in Capricorn, take action, if that makes sense. It's like you saw the vision, now you know what direction to move into. And so Moon in Capricorn is you taking actions in order to integrate
Mm,
this glow. Because if we think about the progression of Leo, you're converting the power, the psychic power of the depth of your
mm,
character into solar energy through your heart.
yeah,
So now Capricorn is integrating that energy into incredible actions that will make you receptive to how your behavior is not
mhm,
only changing, but also empowering and putting into step this boundless Leo energy to organize its steps and to fine tune and integrate the power of this energy you're cultivating. What's going to happen after that, 22 months from now? I think about 2 years from now, boom, it's going to go into Aquarius. You're going to have the full moon. And now you've completed Leo. So now you're
mm,
receptive to the audience you're performing to. Now you're bridging the mind and intellect with Aquarius and the heart and passion with Leo. And the reason why this is the complete form of Leo is, as the performer, I'm feeling directly what the audience wants, and that's going to let me know more how to perform to them because I'm directly receptive to the crowd.
mm,
And now I have the knowledge of how much more passionately I can express myself. Normally, when you go through full moon transits, it's a completion. You come into great success. For example, when my progressed moon was in Sag as a Cancer, I was going out all the time. I was going out with
mm,
friends. It was a little bit purposeless because I didn't really know what I was doing or who I was until boom, it went into Capricorn. I was
yeah,
booked. I was
yeah.
super busy. I was working. So, and especially for you, since this is a sixth house aspect, you, I guess it sounds like you did, but you would confirm that you've been a lot more busy recently.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Everything you said about the integration with the Cap Moon, absolutely. I've made some significant life changes in the last few months,
Nice.
and
That's
actually looking
amazing.
at a career change. Um,
Oh, the
so I've been
tea.
in the corporate world for a very long time, and I moved back to New Zealand when the COVID crap hit last year. And I'm actually considering, well, actually I will be, but I'm doing the work behind the scenes at the moment, is to move into this world. So some significant changes. So what everything that you've said is resonating extremely deeply, 100%.
Thank you once again for confirming that. That's amazing. Super amazing. Even knowing that a few months ago you've had significant life changes, like that is really once again on point. And I think what's really amazing, one moment, I think what's really truly amazing is the career change.
Mm,
Mutable MC is career change, but now your MC has progressed 1 degrees Aquarius, and that is a
mm,
huge deal. We're going to
mm,
see by the end of the year you apply this, because now, as a Taurus rising, I was born as a Taurus rising. So the cool thing about Taurus risings, progressed or natal, we're going through career expansion. Jupiter is in your
mm,
10th house of career. Saturn, the authority of the 10th house, is in your progressed 10th house. So this is literally reevaluating where you apply this knowledgeable authority. The difficult thing here is Aquarius is your 12th house of release. So this is you legitimately releasing an old aspect around your career and stepping into a new understanding. You're now transcending your career path in a sense. But as a progressed Taurus rising, the whole Aquarius chapter for you is, even though this is in your natal 11th house, because you're a master Pisces rising, so a lot of Pisces is your 12th, even though technically in the whole sign is your first, this is
mm,
you coming into a transcendence of the acquaintances and the community and network that aligns with, of course, your spirituality that you're
yeah.
releasing. But because this is now your progressed 10th house, that's going to give us a very current understanding of realistically how to see your career. And so we finished Leo season. Virgo season is going to bring real change into how you integrate that sense of your lifestyle with other people. But
Mm,
I'm glad you mentioned that because, first of all, the eclipse in Sagittarius season, where your natal 10th is going to unlock the final hidden gems and the understanding of how to release that element of how you've seen your legacy. The
mm,
Venus retrograde at the end of the year in your natal 10th house is what's going to awaken this new sense of direction, which is interesting because your moon's transit into Capricorn really speaks to how incredible your timing is. 1 degree. Seriously, it's really interesting because if we take into account Pluto in Capricorn, by the time your moon makes it into Aquarius, Pluto will be in Aquarius and you'll be
mm.
awakening this element of your career. So the only thing that I can speak to is you may face certain delays. You don't have to, but if
Yeah,
you face delays, it's because Saturn is transiting the release energy natally. It's in a position where the delays will just help you come into the place you're meant to be,
yeah,
but because it's non-linear through this hidden house, it can seem like you're lost in the fog or not sure
yeah,
what to do.
yeah,
Personally, I feel
100%.
right, when really this is just more of a non-linear, intuitive nature of just placing you at the right place at the right time. I
Mm,
think still at the end of the year, you're going to be very clear on what direction to take the career,
okay.
especially starting now from Virgo season to change your behavior towards there. But I'm so glad you mentioned that because you do have definitive career success to look forward to. Um,
Mm,
Actually coming back into Aquarius where Saturn is solidifying that. So in this sense, you may just be, it will really just unfold for you and you may directly be led to there. But did you have, oh, my bad. And just to kind of speak now, outside the MC to your personal planets,
mm,
you have Chiron at the end of Taurus, which is now in the progressed first house, having you be an instrument of healing. And because the North Node, once it leaves Gemini, is immediately going to go over your Venus and Chiron, this is
mm,
going to establish a new part of a healing journey, unlocking the grounded healing abilities you harness through your heart, which is at a miraculous level. I mean, you may be able to experiment with, just naturally grounding and healing, whether through practical items and resources, or actually laying your hands on people in pain and like people feeling physically and sensitively the pain going away or
mm,
stuff like that. Because this is now your progress first house, you're going to be identifying with these aspects of your abilities. And this is really amazing because it's going to unlock your heart, which could also do good for finances and whatnot. But Venus, that of course was 28 degrees, gained enlightenment through Gemini and is now 14 degrees Cancer, right next to your North Node, having you establish the sincere element of connection, Two of Cups style, and aligned with your destiny. So, even though Venus is seen as romance, this is going to align the relationships you're meant to establish in
mm,
your life based on what feels sincere and pure. And then Mars, which was in Libra, 10 degrees, is now progressed 29 degrees and is on the verge over the next year of entering Scorpio and catching up to Jupiter, which is amazing because Jupiter was retrograde for you. Now it's direct 2 degrees.
mm,
This is getting ready to shift you completely into a whole new themes. Taurus is your rising is progressing out of Aries into Taurus. Mars is going to go into Scorpio. Your MC is in Aquarius. These are now coming into fixed signs where you're manifesting the value of all the actions you've taken to establish where your legacy is at now. And I think it's just going to stabilize all the action you've taken moving forward, especially as a
mm,
Leo sun progress, right? Mercury, that was in Gemini, getting sincere depth and the ability to be receptive to vocal tonality. And now it's in Leo where you have the courage to express that. My Mercury, by the way, just entered 1 degree Leo. And what I noticed I'm not really a social person. Like I don't really like to be social. I like to talk, and I can in a
Mm.
social environment I can talk to people, but I'm just not really that social. Once it went into Leo, now I'm starting to go out a little bit more. Now I'm starting to talk to people when I'm out, and it's like, oh, it's a little fun. Like I actually enjoy this a little bit. So yeah, it's great to see you have this here, and it's just going to continue that trend of moving you towards more of the social environment
Yeah,
as
that's good to know because I think even despite the all the social placements I have in my chart, I haven't really. I do tend to sit in the background a lot more, but you're right. Probably the last couple of years in particular, maybe in the last year, 18 months more so, definitely felt the need to be more social. But the key word that you've mentioned a few times during the session is sincerity, because I can no longer tolerate the deception and the bullshit that's going around. And this is not only just on a
right,
collective level, this is going on in my personal life as well, where all of my
right,
relationships are really going under review. And I'm talking like long term friends, family, all of that kind of stuff, because and it's interesting with that Leo progression about the heart and this and the sincerity, because I don't. This is going to sound really harsh, but I actually don't care who you are anymore, because if you're not on my level and if you're not going to vibe on the same sincere level that I'm on, well then where does that leave us? I'm not going to put on that mask anymore and tolerate it, because I can't. I literally can't.
really. That's
Mm,
very deep too. And thank you for saying that because you explained to me what you said was so beautiful, how it's not just collective but personal. And you
mm,
perfectly described what it means to have the South Node in Cap with the North Node in Cancer. You're literally bridging the resources of the collective responsibility in order. Okay, so I've actually seen this the opposite way. So like normally when the North Node is in the 11th house, you're using your personal talents and resources to join a group and to add to a group. But it's the opposite. You're taking the collective receptivity and understanding of the world and the groups that you connect with so that they can
mm,
support you individually, so that you can
yeah.
gain independence. And because your North Node's in the fourth, fifth, this is you understanding more how to mediate the issues of the collective world and bridge
Mm,
them personally. And you nailed it when you said what you said, because
mm,
I'm a big believer that cancer is being the most targeted spiritually because y'all wake people up really. And so it's very easy to gaslight the psychic impressions you have. And
mm,
this is important because the Pluto opposition to you is having you literally feel negative progressions extremely
mm,
from people who lack integrity towards you,
mhm.
especially for what you feel that triggers what they believe, especially because they may not be in a position to understand it like you understand it. So I'm just
Yes.
glad you mentioned, right, that internal personal energy because now the moon is transiting over your natal south node. And this is going to unlock a lot of your receptivity as a moon in Capricorn now. You're going to feel what's happening in the world directly and how that relates to your social environment. So we will see you, of course, overcome and transcend this, but I'm just very grateful you brought that into notion because it's very important. And now the progressed moon is going to be squaring your progressed Saturn, which is squaring progressed Venus. And transiting Chiron in this is just going to shape more how you feel more boldly in social environments, expressing this sincere nature of your ideas towards other people. And the
Mm,
cool thing about this is it's going to evoke whether subconscious, because a lot of people are cowards. So they may not necessarily express to your face how they feel, but they don't know that you were born with your sun in Cancer. So they don't need to say anything. You feel it better than they
correct.
feel.
Yeah.
And so personally, like there's gonna be, of course, this lack of integrity and character where there's name calling and there's just
Mm,
that resistance towards you, but they have no power to do anything towards you. So you're gonna continue to break through that because you're walking with sincerity. They're just mad.
yeah.
So that's basically that. And
Amazing.
gonna expose more of that character. And once again, all power to you moving forward. Did you have any final questions at all?
No, no, thank you, Mike. It resonated extremely well, so it's been amazing. All makes sense. It validated a lot of stuff that I'd been already feeling. So thank you so much for your time.
No problem. And I'm going to share this recording with you right now. And
Beautiful.
if anything, thank you so much for calling in. It was amazing to touch base with you, and you
Yeah.
stay blessed as always.
Thank you so much. You too. Take care.
All right.